Warning. The following content may be triggering for others. Your discretion is advised. This podcast is intended for mature audiences only. If you are triggered by anything at all, I would avoid this podcast. Thank you. Have a nice day. Welcome to the RKiCPodcast with
Rin.
Cable.
And I'm Chris. Our goal here is to inform you on issues going on with the world, stick it to the mass media, lying politicians, and woke culture, try to help others improve their lives, and of course, whatever we want. Usually includes games, anime, comics, things like that. We're nerds, so deal with it. Check us out on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify for now. Without further ado, let's get into the shit. Alrighty.
Oh my god, we
Episode
actually
3.
managed counting. We actually managed counting this time. Progress.
Listen, shut the fuck up.
Anyway, so start getting my Unga Bunga autism on. But
Ooga booga.
don't get triggered, people. I actually technically am on the spectrum. But anyway,
No, you're not.
yeah. Don't trust me.
Give me proof. Give me proof. I want evidence. I need proof of it right now on my desk.
So
Shut the
fucking
fuck up.
which rabbit hole are we fucking diving down tonight?
Well, didn't I want to start a little lighthearted?
Yeah, I said, go ahead and do the
Go
Legend
for
of
it.
Zelda thing, because that was actually...
Okay, so that's a pretty big thing. I want to start off with a light thing before we get into the more of the really crazy shit later, because that was a pretty big news to me. And I don't know, too, that there was like 2 video game things that happened today. The first one was the Legend of Zelda is getting a live action movie, which I love Zelda. I love the franchise, and the fact that it's getting a live action terrifies me. It absolutely terrifies me, but I trust Miyamoto-san, so we'll see where that goes. I mean, honestly, I don't know who they're gonna cast. I hope they don't cast like someone like Chris Evans, but that might be the case. And I was really hoping for an animated Zelda movie instead of live action. I just I don't know where it's gonna go.
To be honest, I
live
was
action-
expecting something more like Mario, like the newest Mario, the most recent Mario movie.
Exactly.
I would have been happier with that.
I still
Yeah.
haven't seen that.
It's fun. It's not good. It's just fun.
That's the one with Jack Black, right?
No.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh.
Jack Black was Bowser. He did such a good
That's
job.
right. He
Jack
was
Black-
Bowser.
Bowser was the best part. Bowser
it?
was the best part of the Mario
I
movie.
still haven't seen it. I want to.
It's good.
Like,
I mean, it's good for what it was, which was a movie about Mario. So I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to Mario accepting Inception levels of like plot points. It's a Mario movie. What do you expect? It's the same thing with Zelda. Zelda, I'm not expecting deep lore. I'm expecting a face value, simple plot. I'm expecting the Ocarina of Time to be developed into a plot, basically. That's what I'm expecting.
I mean, the main thing is it depends on what studio and the director. Like that's
It's
the main
Sony-
thing.
Well,
It's already confirmed. It's Sony Pictures Studio, and the director is Wes Balls. I think that's his name.
but
funny enough-
Miyamoto is the one that's
Yeah,
helping produce it, which I
Miyamoto's-
do trust him.
I mean,
I do
just
trust Miyamoto.
I mean, there's been quite a few like live actions that were actually decent. There were a bunch of them that were fucking dumpster fires.
The Resident Evil.
well, some Resident Evils were actually good. The problem with
Resident
making a Resident Evil movie series is the fact that even the game series goes off in so many different directions, it's hard to even find a continuity to make a movie series out of. That's the problem with Resident Evil.
I wasn't gonna go down the Resident Evil rabbit hole. I was gonna say with live actions, I really like the Assassin's Creed movie. I thought it was really really well done.
I think Assassin's Creed is probably one of the better video game movies that has been made.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Generally speaking, when it's not a anime or video games being turned into live action typically fails. Which is stupid because all of the Marvel and DC comic movies end up becoming gold mines. I feel like if a lot of these worldwide classic mangas and anime that have, that are popular all around the world, almost damn near about as popular as Superman or Batman.
Yeah.
If they could be given a budget to make a movie that you would give to a Superman or Batman movie, I feel like then maybe one of those movies or shows would actually be decent as live action. But the problem is they never do. Very rarely do they ever do that. And that's where a lot of those projects fail as movies or TV shows.
I mean, there's even been a bunch of, like Marvel and DC comic movies that were fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's like, this director, I already looked up his name. His name is Wes Ball, and he's most famous for the Maze Runner movies, which I've never seen, so I don't know.
Maze Runner is actually pretty good.
Maze Runner, Maze Runner was actually
really good.
The
question, are these was Maze Runner true to the source material?
Yes.
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, Chris said yes.
For the most part, it was. I mean, there were some things. The thing is like there were some things that were like in wrong parts, kind of like where, kind of like the
order.
Yeah, where like some parts of some books were in a different movie than it should have been, but it was like kind of like where the Harry Potter series was.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. Twilight series, where they weren't bad interpretations and they were relatively true to the source material, but there were some things that were kind of out of order. That's about the only issue that I noticed with that. But yeah.
Well, we'll just see how this works, and then slapped onto it in terms of video game news, that GTA 6 got announced finally. We're not gonna have World War III before GTA 6. That's great. We're not.
I mean, we're not going to have another anniversary edition of GTA 5.
Yeah, what the fuck? How many anniversary editions did they do with that fucking game? Jesus.
I don't know, but I can look it up.
It felt like every year was another anniversary edition of GTA 5. Like, God, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, it was released in September 13 for PS3 and Xbox. It was released in 14 for PS4 and Xbox One. April of 15 for Windows, and then they released it for the new state. Okay, so it's not different. It's not different like editions. They're just releasing the same game and updating it for fucking the new gen shit.
For new gens and different systems. Imagine if any Pokemon game did that. God, the shitstorm that company would receive.
God, but you know what's funny though is that I think it'd be hilarious.
I think whenever they were shitting on GTA 5, I do have to fucking jump into this. I stopped playing the game. I think it was like 2016 was the last time I played it.
Yeah,
I got on the game for the first time, since then the other day. Oh my god, is it a fucking cesspool dumpster fire?
I mean, the game itself is not bad. I actually enjoyed it. My issue was just the fact that it was almost like they were trying to treat it. Yeah, the online.
That's
the like the online role playing, yeah, that is a dumpster fire because things that make you go.
I mean, I'm about to show my age here, dude. It reminded me of like very early on in its release, World of Warcraft's Baron's chat.
Yeah,
like that level, like you random person ask question, hey, where's this quest? Look, where is this person at? And somebody else inside your mom.
Yeah.
Like that level of stupid shit.
It's inside your mom.
Man,
yeah,
I almost built a
This was in the early 2000s, man.
I almost built a panic room as a high schooler to just somewhere where that chat would never find me.
Oh, dude, it's funny. Like when I came back to WoW like 3 years ago, I was like, oh my god, Baron's chat is not a toxic dumpster fire. What the fuck did they do to my game?
Oh,
I love it when games are toxic, though. I do think that shit's fun.
I know.
I mean, most of the time, I sit and just watch people fucking lose it in chat. It's so fucking great.
See, now we're showing our preteen edgelord neckbeard sides, and that's
Oh
the
my
way.
gosh! But that was such a good time. Look, it was simpler times. You talk shit online, and you kept it online. It's left once you walk out of that con lobby. It's left at the door. You don't bring that shit into real life with you. But then people took it personally. They took shit talking and gaming personally, and I hate that. It's like that's the whole point. That's the culture. That was the culture, and they changed the culture.
Bro,
I don't like it.
it's one of those like it's like DayZ, for example. Like I fucking love that game. But like I was playing DayZ, and then like a dude started shooting at me because it's like survival PvP. Okay. And so he starts shooting at me, and then as soon as I manage to get the upper hand on him, they start going, "Whoa, bro, chill, chill, chill." I'm like, no, you shot at me first. Like, you don't get to be chill.
Exactly.
Like, I'm like, what the fuck?
Chill, bro, chill. Like, no, screw you.
Yeah. As far as like the talking shit online, I think.
Actually, I'm bad for it, man. I can't be like, no, don't be friendly and nice to everybody. No, fuck that shit. I love listening to the fucking people screeching in the distance.
See, my thing is when it started becoming the culture to just throw some of the most rancid words at people, like especially I can't even tell you how many times I was called an N-word just because like someone couldn't kill me. Like,
it's great.
It's really not. I'm glad it's over.
I enjoy. See, like I tell everybody,
I enjoy clever shit talking. Okay, I enjoy clever shit talking. But when the most clever thing that you can say
is some kind of racial slur,
you need to go back to the drawing board and figure something else out to be funny. If that's the most creative thing you've got.
Man, I can't remember what game I was playing the other day. I was listening to a guy probably older than we are get clapped while shit talking by like a 12-year-old.
Now that is funny.
And it was I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, where the hell is this kid? Because he's like articulate. Like it's like my level of like insults. It's just like, you need to like go swallow a whole bag of Richards.
Hell yeah.
And then they're like, what the fuck? I mean, like, it means, layman's terms, eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah, because it's Richard.
Like, see, see, as far as like, just, again, being able to be witty and off the cuff and talk shit like that, I enjoy that. Because that's fun. Mm-hmm. Mostly because I'm just kind of a prick like that. But, again, it's a lot of times... Especially back in those days, people weren't as creative. They were not that creative. It was like...
It was great.
It was not.
Yeah.
It was really not.
You know that scene in Thanos, in Infinity War, when Thanos is like describing his home world to Doctor Strange, and he's like, "Your home?" And he shows him a vision and says, "Yes," and it was beautiful. That's me with COD 2 lobbies. With COD Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, it's like, yes.
I think that was beautiful. The last Call of Duty game I played was Black Ops, just for zombies.
Which, by the way, speaking of COD, how many times are they going to release Modern Warfare 2 and now Modern Warfare 3?
Oh, it's supposed to be a remake of the original Modern Warfare 3, but it sucks. It's been getting such poor reviews, and on top of that, they brought back zombies. They brought back zombies in the worst way possible. All it is like Warzone, but there's zombies everywhere, which is not fun.
Why the fuck did they even remake it? Why are you remaking your video games? Stop! Bro. Stop constantly remaking video games. We don't constantly need to remake shit. Make new shit! Video game developers, listen! Make new shit!
I mean, bro, like, again, I'm biased. I'm probably biased on here because after I got Modern Warfare 3 when it first came out for 4 days, and then I bought Battlefield 3 and never looked back to Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean,
and I mean, the main thing that sold me on, again, at that time it was preference, because what did I like? Oh, because I was in the military at the time. I enjoyed the fucking, real life mechanics, like fucking bullet drop.
yep.
You know what I mean? And it was just like a better, it felt like to me like a more polished game. And then Call of Duty, just from what I've seen, like, because my brother plays the shit out of it. And just from what I've seen, like, it's progressively, in my opinion, been like getting worse.
Oh yeah, it's still getting worse.
And like the only thing
Look at who makes
enjoyable
those
about Black
games.
Ops, Black Ops came out after that. I get that. You know what I mean? Before somebody has a fit. But yeah, the only thing on Black Ops I played was zombies, because I was hanging out with my friends and that's what they were playing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about who makes those games though. Activision and Blizzard, which anything associated with Blizzard anymore, including EA, just doesn't make good shit anymore. And the only thing EA makes that's good are their sports games. They don't make anything else that's good.
You said they make good sports games. Literally, all their sports game is they took the last year's game, they put it up on their screen, they go into Photoshop, replace the 2 with 3 for 23,
and then update the graphics.
And then that's it. I don't even think they update the graphics.
Well,
they just straight re-release it.
Well, they update the graphics and the rosters. Well, and they also do change some buttons for certain plays and how they work, depending on which game you're playing. But, again, that's about the only thing that they've ever really been good at.
I mean, while we're sitting here shitting on Activision Blizzard, World of Warcraft just announced, like, 5 more, like, expansions. And, like, I will play the game for, like, 6 months, and then I don't play for, like, a year. You know what I mean? Like, do all the new content, and then I'm like, you know what? No. I'm just kind of over it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
To be fair, I've been playing the game on and off since it was released. Okay. But when my friend was telling me about these new expansions, mine wasn't like, my response was like, oh my god, that's awesome. Was just like, fuck, what are they going to fuck up now?
Yeah, because it's never going to be good.
And then on top of that, whenever they are under heat, all they ever do is just make a Overwatch character gay, and it solves their problem. Like, every single character so far has been gay or coming out as gay. It's kind of weird that's just their go-to method. Oh, we fucked up in real life. We harassed women. Here, Soldier 76 is now gay. So stupid.
Yeah, it's like, we did something bad.
Wait, is that seriously? Is that seriously a thing?
Yes.
Yes. I don't know any of the Overwatch lore.
Oh my god!
The only thing I know is that they renamed McCree because the person it was named after was like a shitbird or some shit like that.
But it's stupid to name him like McCree is McCree. Like, no one calls him Cassidy; they call him McCree. And the second thing is, Cable. You want to know what they have in Blizzard HQ?
I'd rather not.
They have a diversity circle, a diversity scale, which means that every character that comes out has to have some form of diversity, whether them being female, them being black. Like, they cannot release a white, blonde, straight male. There's no such thing in Overwatch. They can't do that.
They have to be fucking dumb. I mean, they're gonna. Do they need to get the fucking Bud Light treatment?
I mean, they may end up I mean, dude, they've already been getting... This is their way of trying to get out of the Bud Light treatment that they were already getting because of all the bullshit that was going on with them getting...
sued?
Yeah. So this was their way of getting out of that from the get-go. So I highly doubt that... And to be honest with you, there aren't even enough conservatives that I mean, conservatives are already kind of boycotting Activision because of what happened to Nick Merckx anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's another reason why I haven't re-upped anything to do with fucking Activision
or like EA or Blizzard.
Like, in all honesty, if you're like, most conservatives just aren't playing their games to begin with, and they're not trying to appeal to them. They're trying to appeal to the mass internet audience, which is but a lot of liberals and a lot of left wing. That's what the mass audience is online.
and a lot of people that don't want to live in the real
so
world.
what you're telling me is one of these companies can make trillions of dollars by making a game to where the whole point of the game is to get offended by everything?
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
They could. Because here's the thing. The problem is that there's not enough people with conservative values in the community, in the gaming community. There's just not. A lot of the people, there are a lot of people that are conservative that are in the gaming communities. I happen to be one. I know that there's plenty of people that are ex-military that happen to also be others. You know, it's what happens is that the primary fan base for video games in general are typically people who don't want to live in the real world. Period.
Right.
Like, at all. Like, that's, for whatever reason, that is typically, and here's the thing, if they are a conservative gamer, more than half the time, they're like a uber, like MGTOW type person, which for MGTOW, if you don't know what that is, it's men going their own way. I don't know why anyone would not know what that is at this point, because it's become a fucking major movement everywhere. I don't, and before I ramble on, I'm just going to say I don't necessarily, I like what the MGTOW movement has done as far as giving men confidence again, but I think it's hurting just as much as third wave feminism, but I'm not going to get on that right now. But again, those are most of the gamers if they're conservative.
My whole thing is, and I know I can't be the only person that feels like this. Like when I log on to video games, it's there to like relax and like de-stress and like kind of forget about the real world. But like when all I see in the game is all virtue signal or fucking politics bullshit, which is or wokeism, which has infected like everything, I don't want to play the game anymore.
Because at that point, it's not an escape anymore.
Exactly. Why you bring your bullshit in games? It's a fictional world. It's like, oh my gosh. Just recently, they made a huge, like Disney or Fox or whatever, they made it a huge deal to say that Homer Simpson no longer strangles Bart, and they want to like get ass patted or patted on the back for it. But it's like, the whole point of Homer choking Bart is that it's obviously not a good thing. It's obviously satirical. Like, you're not supposed to be told that choking your child is a bad thing. Like, you just know it is a bad thing.
But remember, you gotta remember, TV and video games make people violent.
Oh my fucking god, you are not wrong.
It just doesn't make sense.
dude, I'm going after everybody tonight.
I mean, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. It's just it's either people don't want to live in the real world, or they just assume that everything is just going to make them violent and crazy if they even try it. And it's like, can we have some common sense and just be people and just, try things without being afraid and just, relax in our own way and not have to...
Of course we can't have that.
See, also, I mean, going on with that is, it's just like, oh, if TV and video games make people violent, I'm like, yeah, but telling a child, someone from the time that they're a small child, that they're inherently bad because of the way that they think or the values that they have doesn't have anything to do with that.
On the subject of games or television makes you violent, I'm going to say this, and it's one of my favorite... I'm going to paraphrase one of my favorite quotes from Helsing Abridged, but it's accurate. They say that TV and video games make you violent, but I'm going to say this. Not having my video games and not having my TV makes me very violent. So, it just is what it is.
I thought you were going to go with the quote that I really like. How in the hell did you do that? Fuck you, that's how.
No, it was talking about when he was like, they say TV makes you violent, but I say me not having my TV is making me pretty fucking violent. So yeah,
man, that whole bit of that is like one of my favorite moments in that whole series.
Perfect, just perfect.
Quote: "That was a 70-inch plasma screen TV."
So how can I help you?
To be honest, I've never seen Hellsing Abridged. I've seen the Dragon Ball Z one. I just stopped
man, you have to
following
watch
Team Force.
Hellsing.
You need to watch the Hellsing
like
one.
Dragon Ball, if you like Dragon Ball Abridged, you're gonna love Hellsing.
It's because I've never seen the actual Hellsing anime, so I thought I wouldn't
need to watch
even
that
know.
too.
You need to watch that too. That's actually pretty good. I would recommend it. But
watch Ultimate.
Yeah.
Because I mean the like Hellsing Ultimate, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood over. You know what I mean? Like that's just how it's one of those like it's expanded. It's not like it's more true to the manga material.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
I know, like just like Brotherhood.
Well, when Hellsing, the original Hellsing was made, the manga wasn't finished yet. That's why, and they ended up finishing the series before they finished the manga. Same thing with Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yeah, Fullmetal Alchemist.
I mean, Hellsing was really good though. I mean, I like Ultimate way better. You know what I mean? But it's like it was still really good. The same thing with Fullmetal Alchemist. Like I enjoyed Brotherhood so much more than the other one. I mean, I still enjoyed both of them. You know what I mean?
Same.
So
for me, it was just more content because I saw the original first, and then I saw Brotherhood. And I preferred Brotherhood in the end because I liked the ending fight scene with Edward Elric.
Yeah, and also Brotherhood. It didn't like the same thing. Like same thing with Full Metal, and then Brotherhood is the same thing with Hellsing and Ultimate. Is a lot of it didn't feel like Ultimate and Brotherhood didn't feel rushed.
Back from more technical difficulties in another shitty situation. So,
for those of you who don't understand that joke, we made reference to that earlier, but my recording was paused, so we lost like 5 minutes.
It's okay.
It's okay. I'm just
shit happens.
But anyway,
shit happens.
Cable was going over. It was now that we've gone over the whole Rudy thing or Rin thing.
The submarine.
Yeah.
So just a couple things like submarining. Like they never talk about what it's doing because 99.999% of submissions involving a submarine are those missions that quote didn't happen.
Right.
Because and it's like, especially the locations of them are like beyond top secret.
That's the whole point of a submarine is that you don't see it.
But I just want to know, like, over the last couple of years, like, why it's become a thing to like let's announce where our submarines are. You know what I mean? It's like I mean, like, so when it's like when Trump did it when the North Korea thing was popping off, everyone lost their shit. And like I kind of was the same way. Like, we shouldn't be giving out our positions.
Yeah,
like,
I think you and I had a conversation about that as well.
Yeah, like it's called OPSEC. For those of you that don't know what OPSEC is, it's operational security. You don't talk about where your troops are. You don't broadcast what your battle strategies and shit are.
Hey, if you want to find our army soldiers, they're right behind this bush, just so you know. So be scared.
Right, and it's like, what the hell? Why is somebody dressed like a clown? Oh, because they're looking for army guys. But anyways, so and I'm kind of like they were the way that they were like reacting was like, oh, we're it's an attack. Like, no, you just said where our shit is, which is stupid. You shouldn't do that. And then now, when I say now, this article was from November 5th, where in Ohio we have our Ohio class submarine has arrived in the Middle East, and it was announced that it's there. And like nobody batted an eye, and I still like had the same reaction. Why the fuck are you telling people that?
There's so many bad things about it.
Just so many wrong things.
But but still, like there's more to it. It's one of those like they're like, oh well, it's there just in case shit pops off. I'm like, no, by announcing that it's there, you're escalating the situation.
Yeah.
And like I like over there, like right now it's between this. I don't think we need to explain to the viewers what is going on in the Middle East right now, because it's everywhere. If you live unless you live under a fucking rock,
Yeah.
Which, how are you watching this if you do live under a rock, Patrick?
How are you even getting cable or internet?
Right. I mean, I'm right here.
Where do you poop? Anyway, go.
But it's like, so right now it's between Israel and Hamas. And the only thing that I could think of why they're doing this is to deter like Palestine and Iran from getting involved. But I'm like,
You mean Pakistan, Iran?
yeah, what did I say?
Palestine, Iran.
You said
Oh,
Palestine.
It's
yeah,
all
They're already
good.
involved.
It's all good. I knew what you meant.
We all
yeah, I
did.
know. I just want to clarify. Like, it's because there's so much news coming out there. It's changing every 10 minutes.
It really is.
But
and
my
some of
thing
it's even
is-
becoming hoaxes too, like the freaking hospital bombing.
yeah, and a big thing that I've been saying with this is, from being over there in a warfighting capacity myself, it's like I hate that I predicted it, that we would be right back over there within 4 years. And what has it been? 2?
Yeah, back when Biden pulled out and left all of our shit there, you and I pretty much were like, we'll be back there in 5 years.
Yeah, and it's like it's this thing is, and then it's making a bad situation worse. I mean, yes, I understand us going there to back up Israel, who was an ally.
Mm.
Like I get that.
I kind of don't, but keep going. I'll explain my end later.
But the main thing is like there's still hostages. Like that should be the thing, is to get the hostages back.
No, you're not wrong. We do need to
You
get our
know,
hostages back.
and it's like, it's just this situation is going to get so much worse. Like it's not a matter of if a hot war with the U.S. involved breaks out. It's a matter of when at this point. And again, my opinion, because this is how shit goes.
I'm pretty
And
sure your opinion is not inaccurate.
and then the thing is, like, I've talked to quite a few people about this. And they're all like, "Oh, we need to stay out of it, blah, blah, blah." But these are the same people that I've talked to personally. They're saying we need to stay out of this, are the ones that are all for us getting involved with the Ukraine thing.
This
Not
doesn't make any
necessarily.
sense.
Well,
And my thing on that is, it's like you can't be, in only when it you can't be half in only when it benefits you. And it's one of those, like, I personally do not want to see us be in another war involved in the Middle East when there is so much other shit going on. And it's not like, I don't think a lot of people understand on why this is such a focus right now, is because all of the major nations in the world are connected to some country there in some way, shape, or form, to where it's going to pop all. This is the potential right here, is the potential for World War III.
because the
This could be
Middle
the thing that
East,
starts it.
you're not wrong, because the Middle East is basically where all like the oil is. So every country, every major power in the world has a stake somewhere in that area.
Right.
Was it?
And
What was that? You say your country had oil? Sounds like freedom to me.
and all it's going to take, again, and what I believe, I think, all it's going to take is one of these countries that are not allied with us to get involved, and then it's going to be a cascade from there. And I got a lot of people that I know are also like, like, fuck it, let's do World War III. And I'm like, I don't think you understand what you're saying.
No, they don't.
Because all of my military people, ex or current, are all saying the same thing. Like, this is a very bad situation. It's gonna go to hell very quickly. And if it's just, it terrifies me. It really does, because Chris, like you and myself, we're getting to be about out of that window to be reactivated because of age.
To be
So
honest, I'd almost be willing to see if they'd let me reactivate anyway, if World War III kicks off, just because I don't think any of these kids have the fucking balls to go through that.
I guess who's not out of that age range? This guy.
You don't have the balls to get through it. I know that for.
Well, here's the thing. Never mind.
I mean, it's like.
I mean, I'm kidding, but I had to make the joke.
I mean, it's just one of those like with the. I really don't think a lot of people are prepared. Like no one, honestly, no one is prepared to go into the shit.
My brother said they. Sorry, go ahead.
I say going into the shit. Like there's nothing, no training, no immersion, nothing that can prepare you for that.
No,
and it's like I was, when I deployed with people who were like, gung ho, let's fucking, kill them all this shit. And fucking day 2, they were freaking the fuck out.
Oh yeah.
Like a fucking, piece of garbage blew by them, and the way that and they come up, bring the weapon up to the fucking high ready, up on your shoulder, ready to shoot.
My brother has already said this multiple times, but he's basically said my generation, or not my generation specifically, but a little mine and past it, they're not ready for any shit. It's like because we are we're the generation with the least amount of testosterone, with the least amount of resilience, the less skillful and knowledgeable in any sort of survival aspect, and the most sheltered and comforted of the generation. Like my generation and past it, we're basically fucked. You put us in a battlefield with a gun, and you're just sending us as pawns or as like cannon fodder, basically. I mean, that's all that can really be done.
The thing is,
as sad as that sounds,
the thing is that it doesn't matter how badass you think you are. Everybody, and I mean everybody, cries on their first night. Everybody. It don't matter how, unless you come from prison, you are hardened and in prison, you go through the military, you will cry your first night.
I mean, man, dude, it's like I now see like fucking videos of, people in boot camp posting like fucking TikToks and bullshit.
How the fuck are they posting that shit from basic training? That's what I want to fucking know.
I see it all the time. I see it all the time.
I mean, this may be like, a hot take, but like, dude, like that pisses me off. The fact that, they had access to cell phones in basic training. That pisses me off.
Why does it piss you off?
Because literally, okay, listen. When your colors are a fucking e-tool because you fucked up that badly just for not being conformed, to where every single time the drill sergeant walks on the floor, you don't ask, you don't say at ease, you don't stand up and go, nope, just right to the ground. Every single time a drill sergeant walks in the room, everyone just get to the ground. Don't even ask.
Can you guys explain this to me then? When you guys went through boot camp training, did you guys have anything at all to contact family or anything at the end of the day? Was it just straight?
We had had pen and paper. Yeah, we had pen and paper, and we once in a while, once a week, if for those that were lucky enough to be going to basic training where that was the case, once a week you were allowed your phones. It depends on where you went into basic training again, but that's what I heard.
Once we got into the final phase, because I went through OSET, one station training, for infantry. Once we were in the last I want to say it was 5-6 weeks is that when we were allowed periodic access to our phones. But dude, when we first got there, you had 4 attempts to reach somebody to call home, and there's a script in front of you. It's, "Hi, mom and dad. I am here. I'm okay. This is my address, my mailing address. I will talk to you soon. Love you. Bye." That was it. And that was the only contact we had, like phone wise, with home for about 9 weeks.
And oh, by the way, you didn't get like a couple minutes to sit there and
No, it was
like,
read the
listen,
script,
I need
hang
to
up the phone.
Yeah, it was hey, read the script, hang up the phone so that we can get through these calls, so we can get the next, motherfucker and the next motherfucker, because they got to deal with, like, if they're lucky, probably maybe 40 at most, if they're lucky, but still, they got to deal with like damn near 40 motherfuckers with their phones. They're kind of pissed off, you know what I mean?
I know for a fact that you guys get a free postage, right? With the military.
Yeah.
So you're always able to write home, right?
Yes.
At any point.
Yeah, letters went out once a week, and then it was like once a week we would get mail call.
Yeah.
The when you're in the early training, which is red, white, and blue phase, the respectively, not necessarily in that order. God, it's been so long I can't remember the order. I know red phase.
It's red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
Or no, blue phase then white phase. White phase was no.
And anyway,
white phase was second. White phase was second. White phase was second.
During that, like, it was like letters, maybe, on Sundays when you're going, like, coming back from religious, maybe you were allowed to, stop using phone. I know my unit, we weren't.
Did they still give you church and mass?
Yeah, every Sunday. Yeah, that you got either you were basically doing stuff around the barracks, or there's a sign-up sheet to go to religious service. And I would say this, man, I know so many people that just signed up, like, to go to religious service that weren't fucking religious at all, just to get 5 fucking minutes.
Wow.
Yep.
And, like, honestly, man, like, I mean, this is just for me, like, the letters, writing home and stuff like that was a thing. I didn't need a phone. Because every time I hated using the phone to call home when I was at boot camp. Because then it was like, it made it feel like it was taking longer. You know what I mean? And like because like there I was focused on, going through what I set out there to do, and that was become a soldier. Like it was taking away from that because, my family was always like trying to tell me on like what's going on and all this stuff. And, like,
you almost feel like you're calling a different world.
Yeah.
Like a completely different world from the one that you're in. It's like you got isekai'd. It's fucking weird.
You got isekai, jeez. What a way to describe the U.S. military. You're getting isekai'd.
Yeah, you're getting isekai'd into hell, but you're getting isekai'd. Anyway.
Honestly, the hardest part, like mentally for me, was my kid was born a month before I shipped out to boot camp.
Oh.
I was a 19-year-old, brand new dad, and like, like that was, that was like going through my head through a lot of it, and it was like, it was hard for me to kind of push all of that feeling, like the thoughts and feelings, like deep down so I could focus on the task at hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll admit a couple of times, like, fucking, I wanted a break, man. But it's like,
you always do.
Yeah, and it's like, it's just going through that, and like I look at like my other siblings, I honestly don't think a single one of them could have gone through that. I really don't, and that's not me saying my siblings are wimps or anything. It's just like the thought process and the coping, the way you deal with shit.
Mm.
Like I've always been one to deal with everything on my own. I've always been like that. My siblings are not like that. You know what I mean? And, kind of get derailing, going back to the thing at hand. And then, no, I'm pretty sure, like the fucking Vietnam and Desert Storm veterans say the same thing about our generation. Like that we were basically babied. And I'm like, man.
Well, because we didn't. Yeah, I mean, in some ways they're right. Compared to them, we did because we weren't the ones getting fucking beat the shit out of. Well, wait, I remember graduating basic training with a broken nose, a black eye, and a dislocated shoulder. So no, we didn't get babied. Go fuck yourselves. Anyway.
Yeah,
Well,
man, but
I do want to say this since the topic was brought up and it is Veterans Day weekend while we record this. That God bless, happy Veterans Day to everyone, especially you guys and everyone that I know in my personal life that did put themselves out there for the rest of the Americans. Like, God bless you guys, because you guys really did do a lot. And I don't know if you heard that multiple times already, but it really is right for the occasion because it is Veterans Day weekend.
I don't even really think about it, to be honest with you.
honestly, it snuck up on me.
Yeah.
I'm sure it did, but I figured it'd be appropriate for the
I mean,
occasion.
with all the shit I have going on, dude, the only way I know what day it is if we're recording this or not.
The only reason I know is because, the rest of the country treats it as a day off from work or school. That's how I know.
Same thing with fucking Memorial Day. Like,
Same thing, yeah.
but man, like that. But my main point is it's not necessarily just like the way like that things are handled, like the cell phone thing. Like, yeah, it's just something that bugs the shit out of me. But
Shark attack too.
but I
the shark
mean,
attack.
yeah, but man, like the main thing is look at the culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like it's gonna be a shit show. And honestly, like I'm kind of glad that I got out when I did because I really don't think I could have handled, being in with basically this year being one of the older guys. You know what I mean?
To be honest, back when I was younger, I didn't really see myself. I didn't really see that for myself. But now that I'm older and I see the younger generation of soldiers being given cell phones more than for an hour a week, and that's if they're well behaved. Seeing them get stress cards and seeing them take away the shark attack, I feel like the military is going to need guys that had to go through that kind of training and are capable of dealing with the challenges that come from serving. People that are better prepared for it. Where they're gonna need guys like us. So to me, I can see myself doing it now. The problem is if I go back after all the years that I've been away, I'm gonna go back to E Fuzzy. And to be honest with you, I don't want to be an E Fuzzy at 30 fucking 33. You know what I mean? Like
there would only be honestly, there would only be one way that I would go back. And that would be, actually, because I do have a degree now, would be going to OSET. Because your time, yeah, because the time that I already was in would count towards that too. So I wouldn't be like this is what I've been told by my cousin who is a retired officer.
Officer or warrant officer?
Warrant.
Oh, okay.
And he said that it shouldn't be like it should still work that I would come out at least the black bar. At minimum, maybe possibly I would be sent to like do that whole schooling thing to become a captain. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, is like I wasn't listed before, so leading like enlisted troops, I would probably get more respect. But like honestly, because at this point, like I'm a lot older than I was, and I'm nowhere near in the shape that I was in. I'm like, you know what, sitting at riding a desk, I'm more comfortable to that idea now.
To be honest, I don't feel like that's my place. I think I would actually do everything I could to try to go pararescue this time if I actually went back. Which means more jumping out of airplanes, which I'll admit that I'm not looking forward to, but
Man, and it's like they're not naming like back to the submarine. Okay. So and even in this article which I just sent to you, Ren, like even talks about their loadout. You know what I mean? Which
that is infuriating, actually. I'll be honest.
yeah, and it's like
151
we
Tomahawk cruise missiles, 50% more than the U.S. guided missile destroyer packs, and almost 4 times the U.S. Navy's newest attack subs armed with each Tomahawk, compared to 100,000 pound of high explosive warhead.
that's just adding to the assets we already have over there, which I'm glad they didn't have a list of what we have over there. They just say our assets.
Yeah.
Because like as far as the information come out of there, I don't know if we're still have a blockade, but I know we had set up a blockade.
Yeah, at some point we did.
But
I don't know what's good it's doing it, but
it's just one of those things. Like it worries me, that I didn't think we were going to see World War III in our lifetime, and now how it looks like it might be just over.
Who are
over
you
the
kidding?
horizon.
I knew we were going to see World War III in our lifetime.
I forgot who said this. I forgot who.
Me being a fool, I had hope.
I didn't. I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know what was going to be the cause.
I forgot who said this, but either one of you guys or someone I know in my personal life, but they basically said this: at this point, there's no way around it. It's gonna happen. It's just a matter of when. Mm-hmm. That's just it. Because we have 3 powerhouses right now in the world that are just itching to pull the trigger at any moment, and it's high stakes right now. You're not just with like Russia and Ukraine, and now with Palestine and Israel, but then there's also the fact that like at any point, if Iraq gets involved or any other powerhouse gets involved, that's it. They're all gonna be pulling. They're all gonna be pulling in.
That's kind of the last of the issue. The issue is more or less the stakes that Russia, U.S., China, and Europe have in the Middle East. Those are what are going to cause conflicts. Now, once those conflicts ignite, it's war.
And it's gonna be a war on a scale that we have not seen since the Second World War.
Actually, and it'll probably be worse this time.
Oh, it's going to be, because look at the technology. Because because we have clean bombs with a much greater yield than the 2 that were dropped on Japan.
Yep.
We have non-nuclear options that are stronger than that. Now, like this is gonna, like, dude, if this shit fucking escalates to like where missiles are flying across, like it's gonna be the end times, man.
Yep.
Because all it's gonna take is one idiot. I say a third time, one fucking idiot to fire a nuke. That's all it's gonna take. And then it's a wrap. We're done, because everyone's going to start shooting their shit.
Hopefully, no one does use nukes. Hopefully, that's still going to be off the table. Because I like to think that even states like Russia and China don't probably want to go nuclear, just because that can ruin their whole population and their own country. Now, if there's one thing I know for a fact about these guys, they like power. And there's no power in ruling a desolate land. So yes, I have to assume...
But there's also no power in ruling a population that is too large to control. So
that's why they take away rights. That's why Russia and China are violating human rights, because that's how you can complete control over country. That's what North Korea does.
Communism.
That's why North
yes.
Korea has such a stronghold, and that's why the Kims are still in control to this very day, because they have absolutely zero human rights there. They're treated as like literally objects to his little Animal Crossing world.
Yes.
Which I stole that joke from somewhere.
But the issue is that a smaller population is easier to control. So what I'm getting at is this. They don't want to completely destroy their own population. Because if they don't have any people underneath them, then they don't have any power.
Exactly.
But they don't want to have so many people underneath them that it becomes too unruly and too hard to control.
And that's why you send people to war. That's why you'll send old Joe Schmo or their little Chinese Joe Schmo. You send him over to war. He has no skills, no nothing. But guess what? You send him to war, you're cutting the population down.
Yes.
You renounce him as a hero. You give a little ceremony for those that didn't make it back. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. So that's why I say, if I have to give one benefit of the doubt to every single powerhouse in the world, they're not going to use nukes just simply because they want to lose what they have. You know? So
yes, if they feel like they have enough to gain from taking out their opponents, and they think that they can with what they have, nuclear force is not something they will shy away from.
Well, speaking right
they're
now,
also nuts.
Sorry.
Well, I'm saying is like because they're also nuts. I mean,
yeah.
Putin literally just waltzed into Ukraine for like no reason on a random fucking weekday.
There is no reason, and that is true. They are nuts. But I like, as of right now, as of the year 2023 in November,
I need to get a new camera stand. My camera keeps shifting all over the place.
I know. But as of November 2023, there are no reason to launch nukes. Therefore, I don't think we're going to be launching nukes. That can change in the future, but that's what is going on right now.
Well, I say nukes. I don't think anyone's going to fire nukes right now. Neither does Cable. I don't think any of us believe that nukes is going to happen right now. I think that's something like several years down the road once this shit starts popping off.
It's going to be, what it's going to be is going to be whoever's about to lose.
Pretty much.
They're going to be like, I'm going to lose, so I'm taking everything with me.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I see that. I can see that.
But, man, it's just crazy shit everywhere, man. And I'm like...
And we have a crippled president. Oh my god.
We have
not crippled, disabled. There's a difference.
I mean, there? I mean, man, and then like it's not even that. It's you know that. I mean, that's besides the point. That's like the cherry on top. But like our fucking like
cherry on top.
I watch a lot of like Forbes and C-SPAN and shit like that. Like watching what is going on in our Senate, in our House of Representatives. All they're fucking doing is fighting with each other.
Yes.
All they're fucking doing.
And it's one of those
old people.
It's like
because they're old people.
It's that sad old people fight energy, bro. God.
Exactly.
Majority of it, you know what I mean, is kind of like, okay, like, you know, like people like within each party fucking up. But the thing is, like, when we are still having to fucking argue over fucking, you know, like oh, like where it's like, oh, well, you supported Trump or you supported Hillary.
Exactly.
It's like, man, and like, all right, like enough. I have people all the time start trying to, you know, bring it up like, well, when Trump was in office, blah 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 blah.
Who cares who supports what or who supported who? Can we come together and just create some laws that we all agree
No,
on?
not until you get rid of these old people. That is why I literally say at the top of my lungs, I want a president who is young and spry and has a harem of women to come into the office of the White House, flop his big old young penis out, pause on that phrasing, his young adult penis out, and just to absolutely whip every old people around and swing it around and get rid of them all because they have absolutely no idea in their senile minds what they even do. They don't even know what the internet is. They don't even know what the internet is. The biggest source of media and news in all of American and you know what? The world's history. And they don't even know how to use it. You couldn't even tell them how to erase their history or to get rid of cookies. They couldn't even restart it.
Term limit. Something I've been saying for years. We need term limits in the government, but you know why it'll never happen?
They want power.
Because the ones who are making everything happen will never let it happen.
Right. Exactly.
And you really look at like insiders. Let's do the insider trading bullshit. Like to where it's all over the place and blatant. They're not allowed to do it, but they fucking do it anyways.
Yeah. And Trump called out that bullshit.
Power. Yep. Anyone who calls it out is fucking, like they go after them like, oh, they're a MAGA Republican or a leftist extremist. And I'm like, how about this? We stop and see, this is where it falls on us as the people. Stop voting for these fucking morons that don't give a fiddler's fuck about any of us. Because if they fucking truly did, they would be trying to do the right thing.
Well, if they truly cared about us, then that actually fucks the problem.
But here's the thing. We have a member in the government right now that is being criminally charged for pulling a fire alarm, disrupting fucking a vote. He is still making decisions and has not been voted out yet. He is being charged and pled guilty.
You know what the worst part about this is that a lot of it is votes that people don't really take into consideration because people mostly care about the primary votes.
Because people don't read what's going on. They don't read what these assholes are voting.
They're uneducated. They're just being told and when I say pirated, I mean like not a pirate. I meant a parrot. They're being parroted what the media says, what the popular media says, what their favorite influencer YouTuber says, and it's all Biden. It's like, no, get rid of old fucks. If anything, me personally, I don't even want Trump back in office. I'd rather take someone new who's young and has some really excellent ideas. I'll give credit where credit is due with Trump back during his time, but I just want both old fucks out here because on one hand, the rest of the world sees Trump as just one big entertainment for the rest of the world. And the other side sees Biden as a weak, pathetic old man, which he is. So either way, you're getting screwed. And I don't know how every time in the U.S., in the last two running candidates that happened, the last two presidency elections that happened, I have heard this phrase repeated over and over and over again. That is, I'm picking the lesser two evils. Why does it have to be the lesser two evils? How about we just pick one that's good? How about we have two good candidates, regardless of what their beliefs are, of their whatever they politically stand in?
Because people don't care enough to read. That's the thing. People don't care enough to read what they're voting on. People don't care enough to read into the people they're voting for. People don't care enough.
Well,
they just don't. Because they don't feel like they have to.
I mean, look at it like this. I'm trying to find the list out right now, but I saw and I can't find the post from earlier. I think it got taken down. There are 3 states right now that have video evidence of people ballot stuffing. Right fucking now. That. It's all over the place.
I saw that too.
And the fact is that it's not being talked about.
Well,
no, it's kind of weird because, like I said,
under the rug.
whenever you talk about it, whenever you even question it, you're just being told you're being lumped into flat earthers, and I'm tired of this. Is why I fucking hate a lot of stupid conspiracy theories because it doesn't make it better for the rest of us. While the rest of us are over here trying to disprove a bunch of this bullshit because we know that this isn't just a conspiracy theory; it's actual case that's just not really talked about.
I mean,
It just gets lumped in with the rest.
But the thing is stupid conspiracy theories are going to be they're unavoidable because it's just human history.
It can't be. It's not even like it can't even be labeled a conspiracy theory. There was a news anchor doing like an interview, and there's a woman at the mailbox literally fucking ballot stuffing.
Yeah,
I saw that clip.
Like it's on camera. Like this.
Yeah.
I think I saw that same clip.
Like right here. I'm sending you the link. For the one I just found right now.
Because that's the thing is it's not so much that it's the fault of people with stupid theories that we get lumped in with those stupid theories. It's the people
it's not
fall for the fact that, oh, well, this is happening on camera. Nah, fake news. It's just a delusion created by racist, racist, misogynistic white male Republicans.
No, it's some kind of ist or MAGA extremist if you
That
question
too.
it. But
exactly,
the thing is, I'm like, okay, well, if that's your view to where you can't question an election, look at how these are the same people that are going on about that were going over the whole Trump stole the 2016 election.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, like if you call out both sides, which we all do, you're fine. But if you only call out one side and don't look at what whatever party you claim is doing, like to where it's primarily people who look at. I've noticed around the left side.
Well,
okay, that are usually like my party's good and Republican bad. Let me call out their own party's bullshit. Granted, I have a bunch of friends that do.
Let me give you a perfect example of this shit being manipulated right in front of our eyes. So these AIs are coming out, and there's a bunch of things like ChatGPT, and there's this other AI I was playing around with called Pi AI, and it's an AI that's supposed to be like super ethical and has the college voice or whatever the hell. But I was playing around with it to see what it tells me about just unpromptly what it says about Democrats and what it says about Republicans. And it tries to not be biased, but it's being biased because it'll be like, although some Republicans are racist, we have to remember that we still have to respect their ideology. But I'm like, what about Democrats? Why are Democrats are also being racist too? I typed that prompt in, and it's just like, no, Democrats are racist. Democrats are not, and it's terrible to assume that Democrats are racist. And it's like, see what I mean? It's being manipulated. It's right there.
Yeah,
they're insulting the Republicans, but they're giving benefit of the doubt to the Democrats. It's right there.
And see, the thing is too, again, like we have us here, we have very similar views. There are quite a few things that we all have different views on, but we can come together and have a discussion like adults and agree to disagree. You know what I mean? But majority of people who have thrown their hat into this ring can't do that anymore. And it's like, listen, it's like if I disagree, if you say, I like Pepsi, I like Pepsi, you like Coca-Cola. Okay, I'm like, well, I think Pepsi tastes better and doesn't give me the fucking acid burps like Coca-Cola does. Coca-Cola gives me the fucking heartburn burps.
Fuck you for
and it's like okay, cool, like I don't get that, and you like your product, right? But no, it's from like, hey, I like Pepsi better than Coca-Cola because I don't get the acidic burps. And then the person who likes Coca-Cola goes, "Oh, well, you're a extreme racist." That is literally. It sounds stupid. Oh man, I just spit all over myself. It sounds fucking stupid. But the thing is, that is how the conversations happen now. And and the powers that be have made that the way to have people to have discussions now, to where it's okay to flip the fuck out if you are supporting the message. You know what I mean? Like that. It's just sad, man. And I'm like,
it's gonna start civil war.
And see, here's what's going to happen. By the time people start fucking realizing it, it's going to be too late. You know, because bridges have been burned. Dude, I personally have lost friendships over this shit. You know, and it's whatever. If you know, like, my main thing is, if we can't talk politics like adults, fucking don't bring it up. Bottom line.
Yeah.
Because I'm the same guy I've been my entire life. I have the same fucking views. That you know, and if you all of a sudden can't handle the way that I see things or the way I, view things, that's fine. It's my opinion, not yours.
Right. You don't have to have it.
And and we can agree to disagree. Doesn't mean that we still don't have a friendship, but people can't handle that. And if what I say hurts your feelings, and you feel the need to try to get try to start up a whole bunch of mess about it, just fucking walk away, man.
What was that? You like Pepsi? Fuck you.
Yeah, I
mean, but like I said, it was a stupid comparison. But the thing
I know what you're saying. Yeah, like, again, I completely agree 100%, and it's getting so ridiculous. Like, I have a friend who lives in Canada, and a lot of people.
Well, that's the problem. They live in Canada.
No. They're fine. My friend is fine. Shout out to said Canadian. He is a perfect friend.
Oh, okay.
The issue is that, like, I'm very vocal about my political beliefs on Twitter, and tons of people have gone up to me and be like, "Hey, you know this guy follows this. Why are you friends with him?" He's like, "Dude, he has his own personal opinions. That's just gonna be the case. Like, we just gotta learn how to respect it. Like, he and I have polarizing opinions sometimes, but that's fine. It's just a matter of respecting it and understand that we're humans. We're gonna have different perspective and point of views. Like, it's just gonna be natural, especially when you come from a different country. The way you're raised in a country can be vastly different than in America. Thus, you're gonna have different perspectives."
And man, I'm like, if like, I honestly used
People
to think
don't
like the
challenged.
taboo. Well, it used to be like, as far as like our circles, like conversation, it used to be taboo to talk about religion because that's how the fights would start. But now religion's fair game. It's don't talk about your fucking political views, otherwise fucking, oh shit, it's on.
Yeah. That's exactly how the case
I'm like,
now.
man, like, just because somebody just has a different view than you or doesn't agree with what you're saying is not a personal attack, and stop acting like it is.
But that's
But they want it to be. They want it to be a personal attack.
Yeah, because
people can't handle being challenged. They can't be able being challenged. They don't want anything that threatens their little world.
Society has started making people think that everybody's a victim. And you play the victim card. And I'm like, you know how to stop being a victim? It's really simple. Get out of the mindset. Not everybody's out to get you.
Exactly.
Not everything's an attack, and the world doesn't owe you shit.
Exactly.
You were born. You know what I mean? You were born. That's it. Whatever happens, man, you gotta, like, to work, you gotta fucking bust your ass to get ahead. You're not gonna be coddled and handed everything.
Exactly.
This is why participation trophies are fucking have started most of this shit.
You showed up to class.
It's one of those things where
I'll tell you all this.
People don't want to live in the real world because the real world is challenging. They want to just be given whatever they want, and they want to be enabled.
I'll give you a perfect example. So my youngest brother is in high school, and they just started archery again. And he's
archery.
He's
archery's
hot shit,
actually
man.
really
dude. He's last year, like, he was the best shooter in the school.
Dude, I went to a rich high. I went to a semi-rich high school. Semi being that it was the lowest or the cheapest in the district, but it's still rich. And even they didn't have archery. They had auto shop at least, but that was it. And even then, the auto shop was an extracurricular activity that you had to do after school.
Yeah,
that's insane.
But yeah, like, dude, he's got like a whole fucking shelf full of like medals and awards and shit. And like,
that's awesome.
We were talking about
awesome.
it, and I'm like, cause I tell him, like, every year, I'm like, okay, so you shot 285, go for 288. Always do better. Always push yourself to do better. And jokingly, I'm like, I quoted Talladega Nights, and I'm like, remember, you're either first or you're last.
Oh, you didn't.
Yeah,
but you
and
don't.
and the
But
thing
you don't.
is he left, and then my family looking like, why would you say that? And I'm like, because like this participation trophy bullshit, like dude, like that's why I quit playing a lot of sports when I was in high school because they started doing the participation trophy bullshit, and it's like you bust your ass to get a fucking trophy. You know what I mean? That feel there's nothing better than that feeling. But now it's like everybody gets one. Like, why the fuck will you push yourself?
To be fair, that didn't really happen a whole lot in high school, but that was happening a lot in the younger ages. Now
Yeah. And
it
man,
just
it's
happens
like
throughout.
and
Yeah,
it's like
I
man, it's
parts.
like
We
I
have
don't
participation
it's like
awards.
I don't want to introduce failure. Fuck off, man. If they don't know what failure's like, if they don't meet failure young and learn how to cope with it, they're gonna fucking melt down when they're an adult and lose a job for the first time because I don't fucking know because they don't know how to show up on time or how to
Oh man.
fucking socially interact. It's one of those like learn to cope with shit, man. And yeah,
Oh man.
everyone's like, oh, like I've been called uh like old, like I have an old world thinking or whatever like that. I'm like, well, what's
Most
gonna like
days,
shit.
most days I
I'm
don't want to get
like,
up and go to work, but I do.
worst case scenario, man.
You,
I'm
you
like,
have to do what you
see,
gotta
I
do.
know this. The power grid goes down and society falls apart. Guess what? I know I'm going to be one that's going to survive.
Seb,
You
because
know,
you know how to
dude,
hunt and skin and.
I know to hunt fish. Like, dude, it drives me nuts, man. I go fishing with grown ass adult, like
Okay.
men.
Okay. Real quick. Like, I don't mean to. Uh, what do you say to like interrupt you guys? But we are reaching near the hour mark. But there's one more topic we wanted to get to. So, and a very
Yeah.
big one. So,
I'm just going to finish my
lunch.
thought, then we can move on.
Okay.
I've gone fishing with grown ass men that will not touch worms to bait their own fucking hook. I'm like, I've never went fishing with them again because dude,
That gave me
if
an
I
aneurysm. Thank you.
dude, like when when I went fishing with like my kid and then my brother. All right, if my 5-year-old at the time 5-year-old daughter could bait a fishing hook, you have no excuse.
But they're just worms. What's the issue?
Yeah. But ew, it bugs. Anyways, let's move on before I really make people angry.
Well, that like I said, when you said the guy wouldn't touch worms to bait his own hook, that gave me an aneurysm. So anyway,
But how the ozone taste? Was it grape?
cherry. So I was a little less
Cherry.
pissed. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Hold
So this
on to your
next
We're-
butts.
topic.
I mean,
Well,
is this where we need? Is this where we definitely need to put the warning? Or
The warning's in the
disclaimer?
beginning of the
the
episode.
warning's going to
so
be in the
no-
beginning, but for those of
I
you,
do think we need to show it here again.
We don't need to show it. We can
Well,
just say. We can just say it.
I
We don't
don't.
need to show it.
I don't know if we really need to put the warning label again here, but I will say this. We're going to do a version of this podcast with this segment, and we're also, just in case we have to eliminate it later, we're going to kind of do a sort of like half-ass wrap up here of just saying like thank you for watching so far. If you're able,
I'll put a thing for the timestamp in the Discord.
well, I'll put it on my timestamp because I'm pretty sure. Are you on 53?
No. No, I'm
It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna put the
It doesn't matter. It's the
timestamp
last segment. It doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah.
I'll find it.
I can put in my timestamp for it, but yeah. But we're going to do a version with this and a version without this. And when you hear the topic, you'll understand why. On the off chance that we get flagged for it, we're going to delete this segment from the podcast. So just warning before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if this is where we leave you all, thank you for watching the podcast.
But if you're going to be sticking around for this next topic, then you have been warned, and we can proceed.
And just in case YouTube decides to make us have to delete it in order to keep this video up, we'll go ahead and just say thank you and move on to the next subject. So this subject that we're going to be talking about is the manifesto for the Tennessee shooter. I'm not going to say its name. Neither one of you. We will not say its name here.
No, we will
its
not.
Its name and its face do not deserve to be remembered.
No.
I'm not even sure. You want to
find out its name,
I'm not even
go look it up.
I'm not even 100% sure. I know that they were transgender. I'm not sure which gender they went from. But I'm not sure which one they went by in their own mind.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But it does. Yeah, it really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. They were a fucking monster. You're not wrong. They don't deserve the recognition.
You're not wrong. I wanted to make sure that I stated I don't remember which one that they were, but it doesn't matter. The manifesto came out. Not that anything could ever really justify the murder of 3 children and 3 adults just for no reason. And it just to know, and we haven't even really gotten all of the manifesto. It was just a few pages that were leaked. And Steven Crowder, shout out to Steven Crowder. Not typically a big fan of his, but
neither am I. I'm not a big fan of him.
But he did some good here with this one. This was a good on him, and I give him full applause for revealing it the way he did, and also standing up and going, "Oh, YouTube doesn't want me to show it? Well, I'll show it on Twitter. I'll show it on Rumble. I'll show it everywhere else." I kind of love that sort of sassiness, as I kind of have that too. But to see what was on there, the fact that it was like all about rich white people, just it was, and the thing is, they were. It was just the fact that this person was going in like, I hope I kill a lot of people, want to kill all you little, whatever. I'm ready, saying things like, I'm ready, I hope my victims aren't. And, just the... It is what it is. It's like, this is the mountain that you have all kind of everything that is an opinion within the mountain that was on the hill that the left chooses to die on. That everything, all the rhetoric, it's right there in that manifesto. It's like, this is the pinnacle of what the leftist movement it wanted. This is something that someone on that had these opinions wanted to do. Like, they planned this for over a year.
For years.
And you know what the sad part is? When the initial shooting happened, only very few covered it. I want to say this right now, and I want to make this, I don't mean to stray too far from the topic, but if you're a content creator that supposedly prides himself in covering news and covering anything, yet you have refused to cover this, go fuck yourself. You're fake as shit. You're clearly trying to play a bias here, and honestly, you do not deserve to have what you have. Because there are a few who I watch who supposedly do news coverage, but when this happened, nothing. Silence. Just like any other day.
This isn't the only story that they've done that with. There's a bunch. There's
no,
a whole
not.
slew of them there's a whole slew of them to where if it doesn't, if it goes against the narrative, it's buried. Yeah. And this was, and it was funny because
we'll get to that. We'll get to that part. We'll get to that part eventually, because we are going to talk about the cover up on this.
Yeah.
But as far as the case itself, as far as the manifesto, it's one of those things where it's like this is important information to have, because what this does is it gives a motive for why someone would want this hidden away. That is why this is important. And that's also why, as we're about to go into, it's important. The fact that it was covered up is important. Why was it covered up? Who ordered that? You know, what? Those are the kinds of questions that we need to be looking into. And we need to know how high up this goes. That's what I mean. Like, how high up did it go to try and cover up this story? Because this doesn't sound like something that Nashville police would have done on their own, considering they just had a vote in Nashville, you know, well, not necessarily in Nashville, but in the state of Tennessee but Nashville was the heart of it, to ban child transitions. So I don't know why the Nashville police would want to cover this up. I don't think that the police department would really have a reason. I feel like this goes way higher up than that. I want to know why.
I mean, the reaction to it is showing that it is, like, honestly, is reinforcing that feeling. And again, I'm not saying that it is or isn't, because we haven't seen hard evidence either way, but it's one of those, like, it's made, that's how it's made to look like. Like, what was it? With the same day that the pages were leaked, the mayor launched an investigation into the police department immediately.
Yep.
Immediately. And now this article that I'm looking at came out the 8th, so yesterday. 7 Nashville cops are placed on leave after manifesto written by the monster was released.
Yep.
And, and it's like...
Which I think is bullshit. I feel like those officers really got the shitty end of the stick simply because of... Look at how many other mass shooters we've had, and if there's ever been a manifesto tied to whatever they're doing, it's always been released.
Especially about race. Especially if it's about race. If it's about race, Trump, or anything the left wing, they will release it.
Well, I'm talking back in the 90s. I'm talking way back, even as far back as the 90s, the 80s.
I'm talking about like Ted Kaczynski. I'm talking about Ted Kaczynski.
The Unabomber?
Yeah, the Unabomber.
Right.
Hold on, we're making a leap here. I got lost.
No, I was asking if you were.
I'm not talking about any one in particular.
Okay,
you're missing. You complete. I'm saying as far back, anytime that there's been a manifesto attached to any sort of massive attack of terror, whether it be a shooting, a bombing, and anything that involves mass murder, it has gotten released every single time. Why is this not? Why is this different?
Because it goes against the agenda.
Well, it does validate a lot of theories that people had going forward, like right after this fucking happened. Like, people were talking about that was the target was, people who they thought had white privilege. And they're like, and then the media's like, it's, we don't have any evidence. And now we see it says it right there on the pages.
Yep.
And he was pirating, not pirate. I keep saying pirating, parroting what the media was saying. That is not normal.
Terrifying. What's terrifying is the precedent that this is setting.
Yep.
It's terrifying. Because what it is it means dangerous rhetoric, whether it is this race good, this race bad, period. needs to stop. Needs to fucking stop. Otherwise, this shit's gonna continue.
Exactly.
And like it's and you know too like the thing like going on with situations like this or like the tragedy that just went down in Maine recently.
Yeah.
You know the immediate thing when bodies aren't even cold and the first immediate thing is gun control.
Yeah, but here's the deal.
Like
They didn't do that with this. When this shooting happened, they didn't do that.
Oh no,
They didn't.
it
They
got
didn't
real
use
quiet.
control.
You notice how quickly the story when it first happened got quieted up real fast.
Oh yeah, dude. Especially when they realized that it was a transgendered person that did it.
Especially, yep. And here's the thing. Here's the part, and I'm going to say this right. I'm going to say this right now. Them being a monster has nothing to do being a transgender. This isn't me. I'm going to go see a transgender person and I'm going to think they want to shoot up a place. That is not the case at all. But that's what they're trying to spit it as. They want to spit it as the right wing now see all trans as this way. It's like, no. You realize the only reason this kid was so fucked up and wanted to kill white people is because that's what you keep telling people. You keep white shaming and you keep telling white people that you need to feel bad for who you are. And that's simply not the case. You need to feel bad for who you are.
See, here's another thing too. They were talking about this person was being treated for a plethora of mental health issues.
How the hell did they get weapons? That's my see. I've never had a problem with people being able to go into a Bass Pro Shops and buy an M16. I have no problem with that. My problem is that they can walk out with it the very same day without a single background check, without having to get a license, without having to get any sort of certificate. That's my problem.
And see, you know what every time we hear, and it's there's a trend. Every time we have a story like this, okay, where there's a shooting, they are not well-adjusted people. There are always some underlying mental health issue that this person should not have had a firearm to begin with because we already have laws against that.
To the point where some of these people were even on medications. Well, you know what I mean?
And the fact of my point, and this is really like all I got for this, is we don't need more gun control legislation. What we need to do is enforce the shit we already have, because obviously it's not happening. Obviously, it's not happening. Because every time you hear about these mass shootings with quote military style weaponry, it's one of those like, well, how did they get it? This person has a history of mental health issues. How did they get it?
We have laws against that. How did they get it?
And look, I'm going to say this right now. The shooting in Maine is not comparable to any other bullshit as well, because they knew beforehand this guy was not in the right mindset. They knew. They always know. And it's so infuriating. And I already know why. And I have... It's always the FBI. The FBI always knows. They always know ahead of time. They know every single mass shooting, and they just let it fucking happen. We're talking the same FBI that will track you down if you did not pay your taxes this year. They have no fucking excuse. They tracked down a family and murdered a wife and child at Ruby Ridge to make sure to make a statement. But when the mass shooting is gonna happen, they're like, we don't know. Where did it go? And they egg a lot of shooters on, but that's getting to like complete conspiratorial territory. I just want to focus on the fact, and the fact of the matter was, they know when this shit happens, and they just choose not to do anything with it, thus perpetuating the stigma that it's all about guns, when in reality, it's these crazy loonies that are getting hands on weapons and causing these sort of issues.
Well, my thing is that with the laws that we already have in place, felons, people with mental disorders, people who are on medication for mental disorders, they should not be allowed to get their hands on weapons. And yet, in these situations, they somehow did. Even with the laws we currently have, that shouldn't be able to happen. So tell me this. If the laws we already have that say that people with this shit shouldn't have weapons, and yet somehow they do anyway, if the laws that we already have aren't stopping criminals from getting their hands on weapons they shouldn't have, what is taking everyone's guns away going to do?
I mean,
for those people, because those people.
It's already bad enough that in California we already know it has the stricter gun laws, but I'm gonna take it a step further. There are a population in California, all over SoCal, and in that area that is full of left wing that do not own guns, do not believe in guns, and a lot of religious people, Catholics, that don't believe in owning a gun. So tell me then, why do they have such a high gun violence rate? And I can tell you exactly why, because a lot of criminals just running around rampant with these things. You know, a lot of these drive-bys, a lot of gangs, a lot of gang violence, and a lot of that bullshit happening down there.
Oh,
That's why. But you know what? They got the strictest gun. And yeah, we got strict gun laws. Clearly, it's not doing shit because they still got a hold of this shit.
well,
You're right.
the main a lot of that. I mean, there's a lot of factors going into that. Soft on crime policies.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not just the fact that it's guns.
And
It's just
here's another thing. I would try to find the actual statistic numbers, but majority of these mass shootings happen in gun-free zones. Why? Because the shooters know that people don't have weapons there.
and if you're able to find a way to get your hands on some in an area where people aren't typically allowed to have them. Although the thing is, though, that doesn't really apply here because Nashville. I mean, Nashville doesn't really have any laws like that. You can conceal carry in Nashville easy as long as you have a
I know.
permit.
I just went on a side tangent because of the whole, we want to restrict guns, but it clearly hasn't worked. Hasn't worked then. Why is it going to work now? You already banned so much shit in California. You can only barely even own a gun, let alone have an assault rifle.
Well, the problems going on in California are like a lot of problems going on in Oregon.
Yeah,
but I'm just using an example. Again, it's just an example of a state that has gone down that route, yet still has the highest gun violence.
Yes, just like Illinois and New York, like you're and Washington and Oregon, like you're not. Again, I'm not telling you that you're wrong. And on that note, what I'm trying to get at is that's the problems that are plaguing that as far as the violence. It's not just the stricter gun laws or the, it's also, like as Cable said, the policy of being soft on crime. And I mean, for fuck's sake, in San Francisco, they literally give people needles, but I don't want to get into that right now.
Let's not get into that.
As far as the Nashville shooter, my main thing is I want to know who the hell said that it needed to be hidden, and I want to know what their reasoning is.
Yep.
I don't like the fact that it's out now. I mean, cool, but the thing is like a lot of what is said in that manifesto is stuff that most of us who have a brain probably already assumed was in there. And let's be real, even leftists probably knew it was in that manifesto if they really searched their heart. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But
see, going on with that, it's like the fact of the matter is whether we knew it was in there or not. The fact that it was hidden for so long,
yes,
show like you hide something, it shows guilt.
Yep. And the thing is, too, is like the only reason that I could think is if that manifesto was evidence for an ongoing case that was in court. But there's just one problem with that argument. The victims are already gone, and the shooter is already dead. There is no case. There is no trial. So there's no reason to keep it hidden for that reason. You know what I mean? Like, that's That takes away your reason right there. So there's no reason why it needed to be hidden. None.
I have a feeling, and this is purely speculation, but I get the feeling the reason they don't want to release what's in the manifesto is because everything that is said in the manifesto is exactly what the left wing preaches. And they don't want to stigmatize their message or their agenda because that defeats it. That obviously deteriorates it because then it just shows that what you're preaching and teaching all these young children, all these young boys and girls, is dangerous. And it is dangerous. But that's why they're not going to release it. Because here's the thing. You know why FBI agents, whenever they do have a manifesto in front of them, they don't want to release it? What's the first reasoning why? Because it's dangerous. We don't want to promote this message to the public. We don't want to create more Unabombers or whoever creates manifestos. We don't want to create more of those people. But the message itself, it automatically gets framed as dangerous. And that message is exactly what the left wing say every single day. And will continue to say it. That is why they will not release it. And that is why it will never be known to the public.
See, that's... I think it's funny, like, when people... If and when mass shootings happen, and the person that did it happens to kind of be racist, and they just... Because, let's face it, if someone's going to be willing to murder that many people, they're not necessarily going to be good people. So obviously, if they're racist, that's not something you should be surprised by. But it's one of those things where if they automatically, start saying racist stuff, it's like they're automatically conservative, and they're looked at like... It's just... And they want to just instantly take the shots and release the manifesto, release whatever letter they said, everyone wants to know, and then so they can just kick on the other guys. And it's like... But right here, it's like you're trying to protect something. Like, what are you out to protect?
And let's not get it twisted here.
So normally you'd be attacking. Normally they'd be attacking.
And let's not get it
the case. I really do. But the thing is, if it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck. Like that, you know what I mean? Like that's what it looks like. And I'm hoping to God that it's not the case, because it's setting a very scary precedent.
But let's not get it twisted as well. This was still a racist attack, but
I mean, yes.
It was against a race of people that the media doesn't care about, that doesn't give them that clicks or views. So then, thus, it's not getting covered. Because I will always say this to the day that any race attack is bad, but that includes white people, and this was one of those, and people don't care. So if you're someone out there who preaches about race and let's not attack people for their race and color, this is an attack based on race, color, and religion, and class, if you want to add that to it.
But you also have to remember that there's a stigma going around where attacking white people is not racist. You can't be racist to white people.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying, like, that's why I'm saying it right now. This was a racist attack, and it's not okay. But they will not cover it because it's not the race they care about.
I mean, any time you have a person like this that just goes and starts taking lives for no good reason at all, like it's a tragedy. And I just hate the fact that every time it has happened, like in my lifetime, it's always been politicized. Every time. And both sides have done it. And it's fucking disgusting.
It is.
Like, it's a tragedy. You know what I mean? And it's like they're so, right now tensions are so fucking hot right now. And it's like the shit, like hiding shit like this and keeping the fucking, my team good, your team bad bullshit going is what's going to lead to, unfortunately, more tragedy. I guarantee it.
Well, I'm going to do this because when it comes to shootings, I don't like to cover the shooter as far as their name and their face, but I would like to take just a second, just to once again, And I did this kind of personally to myself, on my own, but back when this tragedy initially happened. But I want to kind of just give their reverence to the victims, and because their names deserve to be remembered. Evelyn Dankhouse, not good with pronunciations. I'm gonna screw this up. I feel horrible. Haley Scruggs and William Kinney, they were the kids. One was 8 and the other 2 were 9. And of course the adult members, Cynthia Peak, age 61, Catherine Kuntz, who was the head of the school, age 60, and a custodian named Mike Hill, age 61. So just to give that reverence to them, because I feel like they, I don't give that to the shooter, but I give that to the victims. But yeah. I want to know why. I want to know why, and I want to know who. Who did it and why.
On that note,
you owe the entire world. Not only do you owe those people an apology, you owe the entire world an apology.
Mm-hmm. Well, and on that note, I think we should probably wrap it up there. It's a good ending off point. I think you ended it perfectly with that.
So. Thank you. I don't often do things perfectly, but when I do, I'm just kidding.
Man, that I agree. That's a good ending spot because this is a very somber topic. I remember, because again, I'm not giving away my location, but where this happened is not crazy far from where I live.
Nope.
You know what I mean? And it's just scary that, it's just scary that this shit happens, man. But very somber note, but I do well said.
Well said.
Thank you.
Yeah, but on that note, I just want to say for our supporters, people who keep tuning into this podcast, thank you for coming back. Thank you for hanging out and listening to us go on our soapbox TED Talks. As long as we give you some ha-has or some entertainment, that's all that matters. I want to thank you for your support and thank you for your continued support.
And I hope you like my 3-letter agency rants because there's going to be plenty more of those. 3-letter agencies.
We need to start the Tinfoil Hat Club. I swear to God.
Oh gosh, I love 3-letter agencies.
But we're we're going to be doing that when we start our new different segments. That's the other thing that I want to say real quick is that we are going to be adding other segments to this show in the future, hopefully. So there'll be. Where right now we're just trying to get our feet wet and get used to the process, and then once we do that, we plan on doing a lot more to try to improve the show quality. So any feedback you want to give is cool too. Even if it's just, wow, you guys that intro is really cringe, which okay, fair play. And even if you want to, tell me that I look weird, that's cool too. Just any feedback is what it is.
I'm waiting for the get a haircut comments. I really am.
I'm getting ready for what does Rin have in his background? What kind of bullshit these have? I don't want to.
I got you beat with grandma's wallpaper.
Oh, but you do not have a beat with my whole section just full of fucking Power Rangers shows.
Hey man, nerds are cool.
Yes,
I'm about to say I look like I'm kind of recording in a side room in a closet, so I don't really have a horse in this race, but
none of us do. But
I do think this is a good point to sign off.
I do agree. So let's go ahead and do that. Thank you, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.
This has been the RKiCPodcast. If you liked it, please, by all means, give it a like. If you didn't, tell us to fuck off. That's cool, too. You can find us on social media at Rin. Where can they find you?
They can find me at Rin Prime on Twitter.
Cable, where can they find you?
You can find me at ThatCableGuy613 on X.
You can find me at R.K.i.C on X. You can find the podcast as well at R.K.i.C Podcast on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And that being said, we genuinely hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you very much for stopping by.